Welcome to the demo of National Criminals Database web application. This project allows user to log in the system, register in the system, and search for records in National Criminals Database. Basically, the system consists of three main classes: criminals, nationalities, and schedules. This is the activity diagram for the project. Initially, after initiation, the user enters the search criteria, then system gets the user details. If uh, invalid login details are entered, then the system returns the user to the same page. If valid login details are entered, user can navigate to the page where search criteria is entered. From the search criteria page, system gets the search criteria. If invalid data is entered, then same screen will be displayed, uh, and if valid criteria, then the request is submitted for further search, and the activity ends. This is sequence diagram for scheduling search. First request is sent to the home controller search action method, which validates the input. If input is valid, then the WCF search service is called, which again calls the schedules repository, which adds the schedule and returns true or false. And again, the WCF service returns the operation status, and then home controller returns the appropriate message to the browser. This is sequence diagram for schedule execution, which runs after particular intervals. There is a WSF service which initiates the scheduler. There is execute function in email job class, which carries out search of unprocessed schedule, which calls the criminals repository repetitively and returns the search results. If search results are found, then it prepares and sends the PDF file to the recipient. Let's review the README file. First, we need to set up the database. For it, we need to execute the script in SQL create db and sample data script.txt file. For running the app, we open from the source folder, we open the ncd.sln file. Basically, this Visual Studio solution consists of uh, four main folders: libraries, presentations, services, and tests. The libraries ncd.model consist of core business entities, and entity framework model. NCD uses the entity framework uh, database first approach. The ncd.data project contains set of classes and functions for reading from and writing to the database. It contains various repositories for each entity. Then the ncd.services project consists of the WCF services developed on top of the ncd.data class library. Then In the presentation layer, we have a project named as NCD, which is ASP.NET MVC web application, which consumes the WCF service. Then we have ncd.test, a project which contains unit test. The tests are developed using MS Unit, and the uh, test objects are created using the mock library. These are various NuGet packages which are referenced entity framework, Elma library for error logging, Bootstrap for presentation, CSS, jQuery JavaScript library, AutoFac for dependency injection and IOC, and the quad scheduler. Let's review the source code. The NCD in libraries folder, the ncd.model project consists all the business entities in the projects. It's criminals, nationalities, and the schedules. These all entities inherit from the entity base class, which has generic ID property defined. Then we have NCD context, which is a database context entity framework, which uses the default connection string from the web.config. The ncd.data project consumes the classes defined in the ncd.model. There are various repositories for each business entity, like criminals repository, nationalities repository, and schedules repository. Now I have implemented the inversion of control. For this, I have created an incd context interface. This interface is implemented by the ncd context class in the ncd.model. For each repository, there is iRepository class. Like for criminals repository, we have iCriminals repository class, which defines the functions for related to criminals, like search criminals, send email. Then for nationalities, we have get all nationalities. Then we have schedules repository, where we can add schedule or get schedules for processing. The search is basically carried out on the entity framework data context object using link queries. This is the main search function, which searches into the criminals database and returns the results. These are various search criteria applied, like criteria for height, genders, name, nationalities, weight, and we pick only the number of result count variable processed. That result count, that only number of results we will take. We have sendmail function. It sends the email to the recipient. Nationalities repository, get all. This just returns all the nationalities. Then we have schedules. We can add a schedule. This function is for adding a schedule. Then we have get schedules for processing. This function only returns those records which are not processed. Now in services we have developed, I have developed ncd.services project which contains the search services.svc. This search service contains a function search which in turn calls the scheduler to add a new schedule. It simply adds a new schedule to the database. Then using quad scheduler in WCF service, I have implemented a jobs email job class which repetitively runs after particular interval which is configured in app.config file, web.config file of the WCF service. Right now it is set as interval in minutes. After particular interval of time, this execute function will be called repetitively. This functions returns the schedules which are not processed and iterates over it, and if search results are found, then the email is sent to the recipient in batch of 10 records. If no records are found, then the system sends the email that no records are found. In presentation folder, we have NCD project, which is ASP.NET MVC web application project, which contains the various controllers for the login and carrying out search. We have home controller, and we have action result called as action method called as search. Which retrieves the nationalities, and initial result count is set as 10. Then it displays the web page, and when user submits the data, it this project refers to the WCF service. This is object of the WCF service client. All entered data is passed to the WCF service, which returns true or false. If it is submitted successfully, then request submitted successfully message is displayed, and if it fails, then failed submitted request message is displayed. Or if there is any validation errors in the uh, input, then the please correct errors message will be displayed along with the incorrect fields. This is the model for the search interface. This is the view for the search interface. There are various JavaScript classes used. JavaScripts are used. This is ASP.NET MVC Razor view. Then we have ncd.test project, which is a unit test, MS unit test project for each class used in the NCD projects, various NCD projects. We have created, I have created test classes. uh, Various test methods are there, like for testing index view, then search view, then for testing the criminals repository, for testing sending of email, then for testing retrieval of all criminals, then for testing the schedules. For the carrying out all these tests, we need a fake data set. For this, I have created a fake DB context. This is a fake DB context with fake data added using mock library. That's all about the source code. Let's review the web application, how it works in the browser. This is the web application National Criminals Database, which allows search in the database. This is basically this contains only two menus at home and search. Register is register is used for creating account in the system. Login is used for logging into the system. We will create an account using the register link. ASP.NET Membership API is used for creating and logging into the system. We'll enter username and password. If there is any invalid input, then appropriate messages are displayed. After successfully creating the account in the system redirects the user to the home page. On clicking on the search button or clicking on the search in the menu, the search interface will be displayed. We'll click on the search menu. This is the interface for where user enters the search criteria. User enters the email address, name. There are various filters, like name contains equals, start with, or ends with. Then user can using the slider, user can enter the age range. User can user can enter the gender. This is a multi-select drop down where user can select multiple filters. Then then the user enters the height range. Then weight range. Then nationalities. There are various nationalities in the project which can be added to the nationalities table in the database. User can multiple select the nationalities. then the total of number of result which will be retrieved. We'll enter the result count, enter the email address, then we'll add a filter name start with n, and then we will select the age range and we will submit the search. After successful submission of the search request, the request submitted successfully message will be displayed, and the WCF service will iteratively, and the schedule will be created, and the WCF service iteratively parse for the schedules, and it will process the unprocessed schedules, and an email will be sent to the user. I have kept the interval as 1 minute, so it will take time to, it will take max 1 minute time. Each schedule will be marked as schedule processed or unprocessed. After the successful completion, it will be unprocessed schedule will be marked as completed. Email will be delivered in this format. Right now, it is implemented as text only for because need to implement it in short span of time. That's all about the National Criminals Database web application. Thank you.